This is gonna start off this video. Before we get into the video, I want to talk about the fact that I have footage, but I don't have any footage of, like, the hard parts of this trail. So we did like Pee-wee's Crossing in the beginning, and then worked our way around through like Rocker Knocker, and eventually got over to Guardrail. Did Guardrail, went down that, came out that. Every hard part pretty much didn't get filmed, so I'm gonna kind of do a voiceover and walk through it. Hopefully next time, I think instead of me going first, I'm gonna send my dad first so he can film it, because it's kind of hard to, when you're in the middle of an obstacle, it's hard to kind of just stop and say, hey, can you get out and film this? It's kind of tough. We're going to be going back in spring though, so hopefully then I'll try and get this down how I'm able to get enough footage to make a video and film the right stuff. I got closer on this one, but it's a lot harder to get the right amount of footage that I want to get in order to make the video that I want to do. So hopefully, as I get over here and start editing it, I can put something kind of together, but do keep in mind that there's like a lot of skipping the hard parts of these trails. So I think a couple parts, I think it's only like a Rocker Knocker was the only sort of tough spot. It wasn't really tough, just kind of figuring out what line to use on that, which is pretty simple. Anyways, I can go ahead and get into this video, and I'll voice over the whole thing and see how this goes, and hopefully I can edit this and make a video of it. If it doesn't work too well, it's still gonna be done, but if it doesn't, I know it's not gonna go the way I planned, because I really want to film those hard spots.
3,
and it
2,
just
1.
isn't there. A couple spots that I thought were filmed. I guess the recording button wasn't pressed when he got out and filmed it.
Waiting for
So
it.
I don't know.
And just
so
about
I'll see
now.
you guys in the video.
Okay, it's 5:32 in the morning. On our way, bright and early, to the trail. We got almost a 2-hour drive ahead of us. And let's go ahead and skip to the entrance. Look at that, right there. Skip the whole drive. Here's the entrance right now, heading into SMORR off-road. There's a lot of footage, like I said at the beginning of the video. There's a lot of footage that, like, it's not like there isn't footage, or there is footage. There isn't any footage at all, actually. I'm trying to do this voiceover thing over top of it and time this right, but basically we're going to skip through the trail pretty quick. I'm going to try to talk about a little bit of it and see how it goes from there. There's the entrance. We'll go ahead and get in and sign our waivers. Okay, we're done signing our waivers, now airing down. I think I went down to 10 psi. Getting everything ready to go in the morning. I thought it would be. I guess it's more sandpaper like. Okay, here's the first obstacle right here. It's actually my dad going second. In a second I'll go back to myself. He took the easy line, which is just going straight down the side. On the left side over there you can see there's like a tight spot. I end up taking that route here in a second. See, my dad just kind of walked right down that, didn't touch any bumpers, nothing.
Well, we've been doing all those years.
Good drive.
We've been doing all these years.
Okay, so here I am. As I went to line up for this, I realized how tight this turn was going to be. I thought it was going to be a pretty doable turn. It ended up taking quite a bit of a few working back and forth.
Get turned around in there, but we'll see.
Right, you are. Basically, my intention was to go down into it, kind of walk the side of the tree and go down into it. But as soon as I drop in here, in just a second, I soon realized how much room there was to actually try to turn inside of there.
I think he's going to get in trouble in this one. I don't know how you're going to get through there after you get down there.
Yep, I don't know either. You see, it actually hit right there. The whole day I was trying to figure out. I didn't really take a lot of time to try to figure it out, but I always thought I was just touching like skid plate or something on the bottom. So it's been almost a year, or a little over a year since I wheeled. I actually was hitting my lower control arm brackets that I put on.
Without tearing up his side of his Jeep.
Those lower control arm brackets are now dropped down quite a bit, which is nice because it makes tire climb right over stuff a lot easier than it did before with the old angle. But every time I drop off of rocks now at the 33s, it hits. So might be going to 35s here before the next time we go out or something. Kind of make up for some of that gap, plus Jeep to handle it. I'm gonna re-gear and make it do a little bit better. Although it did pretty good on 33s. Taking some working right here, trying to figure out exactly where I want to be. Look at that flex though. It's right up into it. bright side, we know the new suspension works. I know I said I didn't talk about that yet, but I did go up to roughly a 6.5 inch lift.
Still gonna hit that, okay.
Did pretty good. Did that a little while back. Along with the lower control arm brackets, which I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about in an old video either.
No, not yet. Yeah, he's gonna hit.
See, it actually changed quite a bit. The bumper's different. There's hood vents on top. Control arms are different. It's just lifted a little bit higher. Trying to think. There's a new intake on there, a Trailhead off-road intake.
That's what I was afraid you're gonna smash your Jeep up here.
Getting some pretty good lean right there, though. I also put the spare tire up on top now instead of keeping it in the trunk, and that way I had more room for gear in the back.
This was a mistake, but we're gonna see. See, when he slides off the back, he's gonna nail the side of his Jeep.
Not really sure exactly what he's talking about right there.
He's got a hole right here in the water that he's gonna get to in a second. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I think he was thinking the body was going to come down into that tree, but there's quite a bit of room on the side for what it was. Go, start to come down really slow. You can see that.
Yeah, but he's also
spring
got
working.
a hole he's gonna jump in here with mud. I don't know how deep that is.
About an inch. It worked right just around
Yeah, I'm
there.
afraid he's-
Back tire should come down real slow and walk down a little step right there.
Go slow. Now come towards me. Yeah.
Glad I went
you
down
did
that.
it.
Glad I went down that route. I thought it looked pretty cool on footage with the suspension like that. It did, rather than just going straight down the other side.
All right.
There's a small little hill, or lip, I guess. Doesn't look as big on camera. In person, it looked a little bit better. You can see that. I mean, that's a pretty big rig that my dad has, and you can see a little bit of a step there, but not high enough to really flex out the suspension as much as I was hoping when I first went down it and had him film it. I almost need a dedicated filming crew or filming person pretty much walk the entire trail, which I may end up having to do next time or something, or just taking a lot more time to film. Anyways, right here, this is actually on Rocker Knocker. I've seen this actually in quite a few videos. I don't know if it's like just a famous spot or whatever. Basically a big boulder in the middle. Now, I thought I'd crawl it because I see a lot of people on footage try to like walk the
Yeah,
side
you're okay.
and not even touch the rock
Yeah, you're looking
in the
fine.
middle there. But that just ended up in hitting door panels a lot of the times. So my Jeep's high enough up that here you can see I'm hitting the rock slider on purpose, and I'm actually trying to pivot into it. Basically, hitting the rock slider, and you can kind of see there on the side. I was actually wanting to turn pretty sharp at that point. Try and turn and push into it. See how it just turns the back end around? Use the rock slider to push right into it. Once the camera comes back up. Kind of see it. So basically push the back end over, back up onto that rock on the side. It allowed me to twist around it. Here's me coming off of it. I think. There we go. Now it's time for my dad to go.
Okay.
He's a
Hold it.
whole different wheelbase, whole different
Here's
Jeep.
a famous spot from some other videos people messing with. It's a steep rock. Oh, he's gonna pivot it too. I don't like videoing two Jeeps on the hospital. This is very different from Jeeps.
See, everything goes pretty good. He was actually trying to do exactly what I did on mine.
Brand new
Just pushing the rock slider into it, and almost tried to right there. Gotta keep your hand out of there though. Tried to, and then that back tire just grabbed right into the side of the rock and was holding it back. The tire was actually trying to grab under that lip. And he was just trying to lift up the front Jeep, which you saw there a second ago.
That new sticker's done. I'm using locker.
I don't think the actual footage finishing this is on here.
It might go under it, I don't know.
Remember it? Basically, see how it's just lifting up that front tire. It's just grabbing and torquing right up.
Just squishing it.
It's not wanting to go around that rock. Eventually, you end up trying to get up higher, and he backs up enough and gets up higher on the edge. You can actually get through, which is just after this spot. He backs up and then readjusts and gets higher up on the side, and then pivots around just enough to miss the tire. Or actually, hit the tire. It looked like it was trying to push it off the bead, but it was enough to let it by.
Or if there's a big stupid rock in the middle, asking for it. Just dragging that brand new sticker.
Here's another little section here. This spot was confusing. It actually looked really slick and actually ended up being almost like sandpaper on the rocks. Some footage of it from my angle. Little rock step. I already went up it, didn't get filmed, but I'm filming my dad go up it. Oh, this isn't as hard as like Rubicon stuff, but it's a lot more, or not a lot more, but it's a lot like unique stuff here that we didn't get to see on the Rubicon, and different kind of rocks, and it's a little different kind of wheeling.
Right up.
Not the granite we're used to. So climbed right up there. This spot, this is way down. I don't even remember what the name of this trail was. There's a spot before this that was super steep that didn't get filmed, and then we came up to the top and there's some like slick mud spots. But it's just before we started filming this, I was already through it. You can kind of see it all stuck in the tires. Here's my dad coming up it. He made it look a lot easier. I slipped a little bit and had to get a little bit of a bump, but with his 35s, it was enough to just crawl right up it. He was at 8 psi where I was at 10 psi. He just kind of walked right up it. Now this is back on Pee Wee's Crossing. End up flying back over here with the footage a little bit. Pee Wee's Crossing, basically, if you haven't seen it yet or just watching this video, it's basically you're following the river all the way down, which is really cool. You're basically driving through the creek. It's really neat. I was filming this because there's a hole right in front of me. You couldn't see through the dirt or the water at all. It was too dirty. If I took the outside line, he's kind of lined up easier. I was thinking it might be a big hole under it. Well, it wasn't, but I thought it'd be funny if it was.
Putting that tire in the water.
On our way up, just after that section, we got to the rock bouncers here. I never actually seen one I've seen one in person, but not seen one actually doing these hills like this. Almost makes it right there. I can tell he wanted to climb that last tier. It's basically a 3-tier step right there. Almost got up to it. He was back in those like sections on the hill.
Oh, it's going for it. He's dragging the diff, but he's going for it.
Here's a mud spot. I ran through this first thinking it was going to be pretty shallow, and it dropped pretty quick. You can see how deep he is, and you know how high he is compared to mine. Come up there. It was on the sides of the bottom edge of my door.
I just got through it.
Kinda neat.
A little deeper than it looked.
Okay, now we're going to switch over to guardrail. It's actually coming out of guardrail, heading towards Yellow Jacket. If you look on the map, Yellow Jacket's another trail up here. That's an easier trail. Basically, when you're coming out of it, there's a section right here where I'm on, where it's just your diff's hitting one spot if you go one way. If you go the other way, you're too high and trying to roll over. It just wasn't a good situation trying to see. I got at that first section. Right there, just there's not really an option. It's go high and can't get back down because there's a big hole, or you go right and nail your diff. It's a really weird little spot. At this point, we were sort of on our way making it back towards camp. We had a couple of trails which didn't get filmed that we went on. We went on the side. Appaloosa, I believe, was the name of the trail we then took over to. So we did flex and stuff over to Appaloosa and then back to camp. And then aired up and packed for the day. But coming out of guardrail right here was actually a really tough section. It wasn't even really wet. It was just dug out really bad in a couple spots where we were. And I actually ended up just winching up to it. I only had to move like a foot forward and then the winch did it all. I think that's me hooking up to that thing right there. You can tell how steep it is. I'm holding onto the actual cable to walk down just in case. It's a pretty steep angle you're on right there with a bunch of loose stuff. Eventually get down, winched up a few feet, and then drove up to all the rest, and it was pretty good. Just that one little section was just hanging me up no matter what I did. Then it came to my dad, and up next right here.
I think we're gonna
Basically,
have to winch him also.
He was in a section where his Jeep got to a rocking point because his diff was hitting one way like mine was, and the other way was too high. But when it went the other way that was too high, front tire kept trying to lift up, and then he was holding on the brake, and the wheels weren't moving. Nothing was moving, but every time the weight shifted or they moved inside the Jeep, it just kept going higher and higher. You can see right there it's off the ground. At that point, it was slowly raising up without them even doing anything. You couldn't really back up either. So I had to quickly get down there, get on the winch, hook it to that tree, and then pull it back down and get the front down. And then same thing for him. As soon as he moved a few feet forward, he basically could drive it. Okay, there you have it. Now I know there's kind of stop the middle. I'm sitting here doing this thing and spin the chair like I was looking at the beginning of the video. Basically, that's the video. Kind of use what footage I had. Next time, I'm gonna try to maybe dedicate someone to just not like walking the entire trail, but basically getting through and getting out a lot more often, trying to get every section and get it filmed right and make sure it's being filmed right and the right angles and staying on pace and doing all that. So hopefully it'll go a little better next time. That might not be till spring though, I don't really know. We'll kind of see and play it by ear, but hopefully that's good for now. I might just do individual little videos going over little things I've done since the last time I basically wheeled before this time. And now we might end up going to 35s and re-gearing here the next few months or so in the spring maybe. Kind of playing around with the idea of it, so I guess we'll find out and see, and hope you enjoyed a little bit what you can. If you have questions about the trail and different things, I only did a certain section through Pee-wee's Crossing, Rocker Knocker, Guardrail, Appaloosa, a couple like Cold Mountain I think we did. So hopefully if you have any questions about those you can ask me, but from what I got on film, that's it. It's kind of a lot of mix of that stuff, a couple hard sections and things we did that I didn't get filmed at all. So hopefully next time when I go there, I'll be able to film it and get it actually done right, and hopefully everything goes well and smooth. So hopefully I'll see you guys next video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, put in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.